I guess we are on. This,
Caesars. So we gotta turn it off.
oh wait, it stopped.
Well, okay.
Do you want to hope it stays that way?
Are we, it doesn't look like it's fully in the base, but let's not touch it now. Are we in a meeting?
I touched the meeting and it's, yeah, and started it, yeah. And it said recording in progress, and I think, I don't see the
Join it.
thing down. I did the join. Yeah, it looks like we are. Okay. It is 4:02, and I'll call the Community Hall Advisory Committee to order at 4:02. And the first item on the agenda is the approval of the January minutes.
We had two of them, so I made a motion that we,
I have the one you wrote.
right,
Yeah.
and January 21st, I think was the other one. So I make a motion, we approve
January 21st.
21st.
Yep.
And January 30th, 2025.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, approved. Okay, any adjustments to the agenda? Okay, public comment? Doesn't look like we have any public comment. Financials. Anybody have any questions on the financials? One thing I'm going to do for the informational meeting Monday is go through the Old Town reports, and Harry suggested this, and look at expenses from past years in case there's a question about expenses currently, so we can compare
You mean from the town hall?
from the school, which is just basically rent, and then there's office expense and everything, but I was gonna pull those figures together. I thought the town report would be the best place to get those.
Lisa must have had them for the presentation. You and Lisa.
I'm confused. This is for what we paid the school district to rent.
Well,
town
just,
office?
Harry said he thought it would be good if, not that we'll be asked a question, but if we are asked a question, I have some comparison figures.
So what are we comparing?
It's office and I guess you call it office expense and building expense compared to what we're doing, what it's costing us now. Office
So
expense
this doesn't have anything to do
with town office.
No, I was gonna say the school.
Oh,
So you're wanting to compare what it costs to operate this building
exactly.
versus what we were
Rent.
paying the school.
Yes, yeah.
And so I'm not sure. I would talk to Lisa. I don't know that it would be very hard for her to run that information.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
the issue is how you pull it together.
And also,
Because
and what you pull in, you mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Because
it's
it's-
never as easy as people think it is. It's
And they're
like-
different animals.
Well, in a way, I mean, you know, are you gonna look at office operations?
Not,
Because those show in the budget differently than, you know, building costs.
building costs is what I was gonna look at.
So if you're gonna compare electric for the entire hall to, but there is no electric bill
Right, I mean, you were
for
paying
the school.
the 35,000 a year,
It was more than that.
okay, so.
Three,
that-
it
that
was
should be
like
better.
3,000 a month
Well,
or?
that's not clear cut either. There
Yeah,
was-
see,
So
yeah.
there was a rental fee and then there was a community use fee. And so, and the community use fee went away before the rental fee, but it was instituted because we were using the building. It was just
Yeah.
another way to
Yeah.
transfer tax dollars from the school to the town, so you're not part of the whole education budget. But so, so depending on how far back you want to go, you'd have to do the research on the school use fee and the rental fee. Those two came to, it was between $70,000 and $80,000,
Yeah,
which is
Mhm.
about what this building costs a year to operate.
yeah,
And you're offsetting that with rental. event income.
And the foundation.
being able to have town functions here.
Well, yeah, it's twice the size of what we have.
Yeah.
So it serves a
yeah.
different purpose.
Yeah,
It's not an apples to oranges.
I,
balance.
exactly,
Definitely.
exactly.
I mean,
It's not at all.
Yeah, yeah.
we've got this little area downstairs. This building's owned by the town.
Yeah,
And the reason we can justify it, I guess is the word, is because we're using it to house the town office. But we could still have town offices somewhere else in the town would own this building and we could just rent it all out and use it as income, like, it's just kind of like the school did with us.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it depends on the tone of the question.
exactly. But I just wanted to have some figures and it wouldn't be,
Figures are dangerous because of
Yeah.
how they can be interpreted.
Exactly.
yeah.
So if you don't
yeah.
have a firm
Yeah.
grasp on,
Yeah,
well, for a while, we've always had the rental, but for a while there was community use.
Yeah,
And this is
yeah.
the difference, and
Yeah.
this was the thought process. And, the comparison of,
It's not, yeah.
income versus-
I understand that.
and I'm not trying to dissuade, but I think we would need to, first step would be to create clear parameters of what you're looking for.
Yeah,
Because otherwise you can't answer a question clearly.
wasn't that information gathered though for the when they were doing the vote to take it and all that? I feel like I can see a whole slide about it.
Maybe, yeah, that might be the easiest way to
I
look
could go
for
back
it.
When
and
we
look,
were-
I'll go back
when-
and look at that and see,
When we were
because I have
deciding,
those presentations.
Yeah,
cause I feel like you guys
Okay, that's
gathered
what-
all that information.
Yeah.
But
And
it
would've been
there
like
may not be a
year
question,
20,
so,
22, 23.
there may not be a question. That whole thing reminds me of that Lyndon Johnson quote about figures don't lie, but liars figure.
That's great. It's great. It's, there's no good strategy for handling a liar either. But,
Gotta be very careful.
is there like a reason, like, I'm surprised.
I
to
don't
hear
know, Harry
this.
just said, an aside said to me,
Oh, okay,
it would be good to have some comparison figures.
okay. That's a great question. And Lisa might remember that better than me, to just see if there was numbers that already exist.
I feel like there had to be because there was gonna be a vote. So, and I
Yeah,
remember.
I
like,
don't know, yeah.
all those numbers and the numbers we were looking at way back.
Well, we were a subcommittee before we were this, and our sole purpose was to look at the numbers.
Right. So I
Yes,
feel
yeah.
like this information is
But
out there.
the numbers were, at least in my memory, were more based on what it would actually cost the town to take over and operate this building.
Yes, yes.
And,
Well, the bottom line is you have a building,
well,
you know.
Well, you have
work on
you
some
have a
side,
resource that you didn't have before, you have an asset that you didn't have before. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I will talk to Lisa and Jeff, because if they're gonna be. I wish at informational meetings, people would get their
Submit.
information beforehand when you have time, because lots of times.
I mean, this is not what an
It's-
informational meeting is for. People come and they
Exactly.
try and do stump the chump, but what you're supposed to be doing is talking about the ballot items.
Exactly,
And if you have a well-trained moderator, all you do is talk about the ballot items.
yeah,
And it can be a slippery slope because the ballot item is the budget. So
Yeah.
technically, so somebody could say, what are you spending on the hall? How's that compared to what we last
That's in
spent?
it, but that's in, that information, black
Right.
and white.
Right, so we could say, turn to such page, and
Yep.
this is what it's costing us to run it now.
yeah,
Well, what was it in the past? We'll get back to you. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
what's on hand,
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think Todd is,
the moderator.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, he's very focused on that this year.
Okay,
It's my understanding.
good. So-
Stick to the ballot items and.
It's hard. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody here who's been around a long time is used to a real meeting where you could debate and change from the floor and vote from the floor.
yes,
And so it would be
Yeah.
more appropriate to bring up things like that because you're gonna make a decision.
yes,
But not.
yeah, yeah,
Not anymore.
yeah, and change line items at the.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I think there's only about 20 of us that live that though. Maybe not even.
Like,
Yeah,
that's what they remember and they won't.
well, I used to go to all the Heinsberg meetings and they were hours because that's what
That's
you were,
what they did,
that's
yeah.
what you were debating.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But since I've been here, when did they change to Australian?
It had to do with the community hall. back in
Oh,
the
it was
day.
20 years ago then.
So 2003, something like that.
Yeah,
Four
yeah,
or five along in there,
yeah.
because they wanted to be able to have a ballot votes for all those
Okay,
tear it down votes.
okay.
Talk about like baby with the bathwater.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, I
yeah.
thought
And
so
we,
cool to have town meeting.
and North Hero was written up in some magazine about, they're still one of the few towns that have your traditional town meeting in the old town hall, and how wonderful it is.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
Down
wonderful it is
goes.
to the outsider. Okay, I will just follow up a little bit with that, with that, Lisa, and I don't know where that was coming from.
Well, that, yeah, it just may help guide the data collection.
Uh-huh.
If you-
Any other questions about any questions? We haven't done any yet. Any questions about the financial report? Okay. Any new rentals?
Not new, so I think March, well, the dance and then Ducks Unlimited, and I think they're both setting up and cleaning up after, so I think we're good there. Spectrum is coming on the.
Do they need someone to let them in or?
Yeah, I'll do that. Just
Okay, I'd be
give them a
glad to
key,
if-
So.
okay,
yeah,
okay.
It doesn't bother me unless for some
Okay.
reason I'm not around, but. And
Yeah,
then Spectrum's coming on the 20th. When is the dance event? Like the dance is the 22nd, Ducks Unlimited is the 29th.
Busy week.
Spectrum is the 20th, and I have a whole bunch out there, Kramer and Kin, Hannah Rose, Shoreline Committee, and the anniversary party, Spectrum in April. So
What's
I'm,
Hannah Rose doing?
I don't know, she reached out. So I don't know what group
She does
she,
the refugee group.
okay, so she's looking for. So,
well, it'll probably be picking up now that what spring is
Yeah,
around the
obviously.
corner.
so I'll keep you posted on those
Okay,
things, but yeah,
okay.
there seems to be a lot of
Okay.
interest, but not a lot of dates.
Yeah,
Hopefully everybody wants to do everything on the weekend.
okay. And next is the maintenance schedule. I looked at that before I came. I think we're up to date on everything and there's nothing that needs fixing right now. The back door got
Very
fixed.
nice. I like that much better.
Mm,
Yeah.
So much easier, especially if your hands are full and.
Mhm.
yeah,
And it
good.
looks good. I
It does,
expected it
yeah.
to not,
it does look
yeah,
good.
like they did a good job.
Doesn't look
I-
like an afterthought.
Yeah, so if you push the bar in, it's even better because it's a lower profile,
Yeah,
but so.
it's good.
Okay.
I'm a little worried about the bathrooms though for these events.
Oh,
Why, what,
Oh, they overflow
oh,
again.
geez, I didn't know that.
I don't know, I'm hopeful because we had 2 overflow incidents and each time we did the whole snake, well.
Yeah.
me. I watched, I'll do the whole snake thing. I know, and you could see the plug kind of go. But when it happened the second time, our public works guy said, pump the tank, so we did,
Yeah.
and then I was hopeful it wouldn't happen again. But the one at Great Ice was the worst we've had, and David Behrenberg was here, and he says, you should do it from the guy's side, and we'd never tried that. And they
Oh.
were trying and trying and trying to do the
Cause they
whole,
know it takes the tea there.
yeah, so they were doing the whole snake thing from the women's side, because the backup is in the women's side, so
Yeah.
you'd think that's where the clog is. And finally, David's like, try the vent over here, and it cleared like that, and I'm thinking, the last 2 times we didn't do that, we might have just been pushing it down the line or.
Oh, okay.
So I'm hoping, because, well, I mean, last year, it's Great Ice was behind the hall. And
Yes.
so, and the bathrooms were open, and I was coming in like every hour to check on it. And it was full, there was a line every time I came in for the bathroom, and there were 0 issues.
Yeah.
And this year I came in on Friday night every hour, and nobody was here, like, at all. Like, it was, I think because it was out there.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
People didn't think about it.
Uh-huh.
And so, or they just went to Heroes. Of course, this year we didn't put bathroom signs up, and the year before there was a sign in front of the door that said
No,
bathrooms.
I opted out
There wasn't-
because it was a miscommunication on my part,
But-
because I just assumed it would be closed on Friday night, because when the historical had it, we learned from our mistake, but,
Yeah.
so, anyway, it all worked out.
My
but-
point was the tons of use the year
Yeah,
before
yeah.
and no issues, and there was. a
Oh,
issue
yeah,
here,
yeah.
But there wasn't as much use that I could see.
Yeah.
So it
Sorry,
it
yeah.
was just, I think we were just dealing with a recurrent issue, and I'm hopeful that it's
I'm gonna redo those signs. I'll redo those signs for each of the women's doors. I think there's like only one
Mm.
left and make it a little more blatant that you don't put stuff down there. And I don't know if we should try to get the stainless steel little lift up top things that go on the wall.
For disposal.
Yeah, because those are little cans behind it. It's a little awkward to just put something you might have to put in after you stand up and turn around and put your foot on it. and lift it,
Oh.
But those metal ones,
Side.
yeah, they're like right in front of you. So
Yeah.
even when you're sitting,
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah.
I'll look into that because that might help with the,
You know, I
Yeah.
haven't struggled with the cans, but I always just lift it with my hand,
yeah,
like while I'm still on the.
yeah.
If you're like, I know, but well, I use it every day,
Yeah,
like, so,
yeah.
but I hadn't thought about if you
Yeah.
want to do the foot pedal,
Yeah.
cause you're a germaphobe.
Yeah, and a lot of people are.
Yeah,
so I,
rightly so.
I'll look in the price.
Figure if
of
I'm
the
gonna wash
cost
my
of
hands
those.
And do you think next January we should have a discussion about whether or not, when the bathroom should be open to the public
Yes. Well, for that event,
for that event?
yeah, we'll revisit that.
Okay. Mhm.
So VLCT has come out with really clear guidance on this. It's a building. Because the town owns it, you can't ever turn away the public,
Oh,
like just hold, like. hold
If-
on. Like, and this is pretty.
during regular business hours or?
Well, I'm not quite sure on the metrics, but like, I remember arguing this with the subcommittee, like, we couldn't just not close the bathrooms, and I've learned that's true.
Hmm.
You know, and I think this is,
But it's not a town event.
well, it's a town-owned building, so it's gotta be accessible to the public. So figuring out the parameters.
So
is one
somebody
thing.
can, from the outside, can go into a wedding and use the toilet?
So if we're open, we can't ever turn anybody away.
Hmm.
So like, and you know, Lisa recently went to New York City and she came back and she said, you know, we use the bathrooms at the library, and she's like, I was checking it out and looking around, and she was like, tour buses are pulling up all day long.
To use the
one after
library?
other.
Oh,
Because, and so I was like, yeah, I bet you this is like, if you're public, there's probably
But if
some
you're
court
public, it's
precedents.
open.
Yeah, you know, I get what you're saying, but we gotta be careful is my point.
Yeah.
We can't just start deciding when to have bathrooms open and not open. Yeah,
Huh.
so,
I just know when I'm places in Vermont and need to use a bathroom, I look for the town hall. I mean, yeah. They're usually clean, they're nice.
partly the reason my mind, I'm so shocked, but we haven't had any issues here. Like, most people still use the portalets.
Hmm.
I've gone out, I've seen like people in cop cars pull up, and I've gone out and it's like freezing cold, like, dude, there's something warm downstairs. The UPS guy comes every day and fills up his thing in the water jug. I think that's great. I never thought about that, but where's the guy going to the bathroom who's on a route in North Hero?
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
But, so there is a need for that.
Yes.
But at the old place, we used to have bike groups come through. Like in
And
the
for the
summer.
one bathroom?
Yeah, they would wipe out the toilet paper. And I would resent the hell out of it, because some of them would leave a mess, and this is kind of when I started looking into this. You don't have the right to tell them no.
That was cited last year, during the green up time,
Hmm.
because Route 2 was so bad. And then a lot of people said, well, because I was the one complaining about it, they said, well, a trucker or anybody traveling this whole stretch, there's nowhere to stop and use a bathroom. And because this is closed, you can't, I mean, you know, it's closed.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah.
It's everywhere up and down the islands.
Yeah,
We were talking too, that maybe at Great Ice is, that was another assumption I made, is that because we ordered extra portalets, then we wouldn't really need it, but maybe we put them somewhere else for Great Ice.
Mm. Or like, I wonder.
On the
Yeah.
ice.
Well, the
Yeah, I
Well,
kinda
the
think
rec,
that-
yeah, that might be a
Cause
good
they're in a
idea.
non-spot and not
Yeah.
lit up. I mean, even if they were, you know, somewhere,
And the rec committee gets them for Ingalls.
yes,
Which is a good
yeah,
thing.
so we'll revisit that whole thing, but. yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry, it was a little bit of a misfire.
Yeah,
Okay, to be revisited. Which brings us to, Teams. Is that the right
Or
name?
whatever.
Microsoft Teams?
yes, so, let me share the screen. So Dean had reached out to me and said you guys were running a platform for sharing documents. So that was kind of my viewpoint and my lens,
Oh.
what I'm considering. Um,
I'm curious, because you must have let me in this afternoon,
mhm.
so that document I can see is in there. Cause that really is a nice way to do it. And it doesn't go through email either.
No, so these are called SharePoint sites. So in Microsoft 365 and 365, I've set it up so that when you become a board or committee member, your email gets added to a 365 group. And the primary function of that is to create a group email so that boards can communicate without having to give out their personal emails. So it says, Hall at North Hero VT on the website, you don't have to put Tracy, whatever. But also so that ideally, if everybody's using that group consistently, it makes it easier for the town to house that information. Because if you look here, conversations, it's a stream of all the information that you guys have shared. So if I get a public records request, I have access to all the emails.
And how'd you go to that?
So, well, what I'll need to do first.
That's you. That's not us.
Yeah,
That's you, okay.
No, this should be you.
Okay. this
It
is-
probably looks different on my screen because I have access to all these
Conversations,
groups.
right? Conversations.
Yes, so if you're on
Big
the,
group email, you don't have access.
see, this is what we gotta figure out. Why aren't you?
Yeah, cause I thought you giving me access this afternoon would have.
Yeah, so what's awkward right now is that we're in the middle of onboarding with a new IT company. So this is why I didn't want to come and give a tutorial.
oh, okay.
Because I think we're gonna be changing permissions and settings and migrating data. We're also decommissioning our server. But this is Microsoft 365's platform. This is what it's gonna look like. So I kind of wanted to show you how you could use it as you're trying to make decisions about how to share documents as a group. The whole spiel about the email and the groups, my preference would be that you use SharePoint because all the documents, just like the email, the string I showed you, it gives the town access. You guys are creating towns for this group. They're basically documents that belong, creating documents, not towns,
That's
creating
yeah.
documents for this group. You're creating town documents and they should all somehow be accessible by the town or accessible for the, public.
And that would save steps if we did it here rather than me writing up an agenda in Word, emailing it out, you taking it and downloading it or whatever, right? It'd just
Potentially,
be
it
there.
depends on the
Potentially.
process.
We got-
Yeah, I have a hard time imagining, the SharePoint is crazy robust. It ties in automatically with Teams and OneDrive and all these platforms that would take a day-long course for me to teach everybody how to do. So I'm not sure, how far we want to go down that road. I still think email might be the easiest way to share a lot of documents. I think SharePoint would be a great way to create and store documents. So once everybody gets access to the site and all permission level, we'd have this documents tab. And you were able to use this?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
So you had it on yours, so I assume it, after you gave me, and I have it on mine. After you gave me access this afternoon,
And it's not working?
no,
So-
yeah, I worked for the document, but now conversations, it won't let me.
Well, I see 3 of you have your laptops. Let's try. If you go to, well, this is kind of long.
You wanna
Do you-
copy it, just,
Email it.
text her. whatever.
I don't have my phone with me.
It also made me download the authenticity thing.
See,
I did that a while ago, and I forget what I
I'm
did now.
surprised to see that. I have never had to approve anybody like I did you tonight.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but we also had some settings updated by our IT company today. And I think they're we just had a meeting last week to review our SharePoint file structure. And Lisa and I are kind of reviewing how we want everything to be structured, and we're meeting again on the week of March 10th. And then we're gonna begin a data migration. So this is a this,
Yeah.
when you guys put this off, I was kind of like, oh, good. I was
Yeah.
hoping we'd be a little further along, actually, but basically, my goal today is to prove to you, you could use this to share
Share, okay.
documents.
And so there's a lot of documents in there now. That's because you've been putting them there?
Yes.
Okay, so,
So.
okay.
But for example, we could,
I didn't
And-
get, I didn't.
So I just sent to the,
The email?
yeah, with the link.
Okay, I'm gonna,
I'm trying to sign in, but it thinks
I'm
like.
gonna get ahead of you some way.
No, there we go.
so I picked my account and enter a code. Was that in the email?
This is one of my worries, is because
No, the code comes to your phone,
Oh,
and that's what happened to me.
Microsoft, one of the reasons they're the desired platform is they're good with security.
Yeah.
But they keep updating their policies and requirements to keep up with the nefarious doers in the world.
Yeah.
And they keep making, so when we first started, I could turn off the rules for having to authenticate. I can't do that anymore.
I just got another email with the code.
It's on, and then maybe, remember we talked about this before, because I have a Microsoft 365 account.
For people who do, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, and now, now I can choose Town of North Hero or Trade Heroes.
Yeah, yeah.
Open your Authenticator app and enter the number.
So if you don't have the Authenticator app downloaded, and this is where I think we're gonna lose a lot of board members, is
Oh,
I
okay.
don't wanna download an app. Yeah, but this is, and so I'll be having a conversation with my IT company about. And this, when we met last week, I was clear with them, I wanna set this up for volunteers, I need it to be as easy as possible for
Yeah.
volunteers, I don't want them lost in the admin. But I think in this day and age, there are certain levels. I mean, I think everybody's used to two-factor authentication now. I think the extra app is annoying.
Yeah.
Did it let you in, Tracy?
No, because, well, I got the email, but it just shows that there was no, you didn't write anything, right?
I just put the link in there. So I was hoping if you clicked on the link, it would
No,
take you
this is what,
directly.
this message may have been moved or deleted.
Oh.
It's in the, it came up here, this link, so I clicked on it.
I meant for it to just come to your own email.
Well, it initially did, that's where I grabbed it from, so this, I grabbed it from here.
Interesting. Yeah, and there's no link in the body.
Yeah,
So
right
should I
here,
ask
I
you-
did that, and it popped up here. And then it's there.
So this is what I want, is just for you to be at the SharePoint site. So if you go to the left sidebar, you have a documents tab.
Yep.
So it looks, well, it would look like it was on the screen if I went to the home. So it pretty much looks like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we still can't email. Right?
so if you click on conversations.
Yeah, that's where it says,
Okay,
as a guest member of this group, you don't have access to the group mailbox.
oh, that's interesting.
You can read messages to and from the group in your inbox.
So, yeah,
So let's start, we're making progress.
well, this is another thing that worries me is because for licensed users, this thing is seamless. But a license is $22 a month per user.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we're not gonna do that for board members. So it's trying to get it to the full extent that it'll go for the free account
Yeah,
when they're called guests. So when you see that, so part of me is like, I wonder. And their workaround is use your inbox, because you've been at it, all these are coming through your inbox. So I think it's nice to have them all pulled out and be able to see them. But you're right, it does redirect to my, Outlook. I hadn't noticed that before.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Patty?
I can't seem to get in. I actually already had an account with them
Yep.
because I used it for something else. And now they don't recognize me now, so they're doing that send a code thing, and of course they're not sending out a code.
Well, cause you gotta have the authenticator app on the phone, that's. Do you
There's a
have that?
Microsoft Authenticator
Yeah.
app. Yeah.
That's where it comes
Mhm.
to. Is, it just, it's.
It just, all it said, it's gonna send it to my email
This little
address.
guy. right here.
So Tim got one on his email and then it wanted him to put it in his authenticator.
Yeah, in my, and I was just looking at the Authenticator app, which I'm not sure, it's not, I'm not sure it's Microsoft.
Can't make it easy to save their lives.
It's not Microsoft 365.
So if you
So
go.
that's what comes up on mine.
Yes, exactly. So if
Yeah.
you go to your phone, if you go to the App Store and you put in Microsoft Authenticator.
Oh,
it'll
there we
come
go.
up.
I got it. Oh, well, it's expired, but I have it on my phone. Okay.
I'll have it a second.
Oh, I have my one-time passcode. Okay.
Then
I just took the top one, I'm hoping that's correct. So it's not too private now.
So, but ultimately, we'll figure out these glitches. If this is a direction you guys want to move in, I can definitely come. What I'd first want to do is get us completely migrated as a town. And
Well, see
set
the
up,
documents, that's a good place to start.
yeah,
Adding all that, but you're doing
is.
that, we aren't,
um,
you're doing
Oh,
that.
okay.
well, I mean,
I'm in.
There's a lot of stuff.
what's in there has been done by me,
Okay.
but the idea is going forward that you would do it.
Do it, yeah.
So, and I haven't yet determined the best
Yeah. How to.
system to put in place, like,
Yeah.
cause Lisa and I met, we had a meeting today. And she's like, we need procedures, and I'm like, yep, and some of the decisions that we're walking through now are. Will this be set so that people can download to their computers, or will it be set so that all the editing happens on the site?
Mhm.
And that'll depend on what guests have access to. From a public record standpoint, I'd love to set it so that nothing can be downloaded to a personal computer, and then I can just. You know, if we ever get a FOIA request, I know everything that's in SharePoint is what the town has created. And there's no risk of anything being on somebody's personal device. But you have to weigh all these things with ease of use. So that's just one of a lot of decision points we're walking through right now,
A lot of people create documents for their committees
and they would do it through SharePoint.
from beginning
So,
to end.
yes.
So it's like a Google Doc and it's like that,
Exactly.
what you were trying to get us.
Right,
So it's
Yeah.
set up the same way, basically.
that's why I said.
Yeah,
Yeah. And what I haven't figured out yet is how,
so Pages is where you would do it? It's like
I'm
the
not really
Word.
sure yet.
Okay, yeah.
So to be quite honest,
But if it's a Microsoft product,
right, but
Then
yeah,
that-
so they want everybody to buy a license that's using it though, so I have to
Okay.
figure out the full functionality for guests.
Yeah.
If it turns out that this is really just gonna be a place for people to share documents, then it's still better than what we had before.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out the full potential before I kind of unveil it. Yeah. So, because I do use Google and it's really nice. It's just, that's
Yeah.
kind of what I was envisioning.
Yeah.
You just,
Yeah.
you click on it, it opens up right in a,
yeah, and then the little
And-
boxes for your
yeah,
email and all that.
and you
stuff.
don't ever have to download or upload, and you can tell. So SharePoint is designed to be more robust than Google, which also means it's more complicated than Google. So,
Well, because it's interacting with all their products, it has the
Yeah.
potential to interact with all their
Mhm.
products.
yeah, well, and how you set it up right
Yeah.
here, like they sync and they
Yeah,
shortcut to
yeah.
OneDrive. Like if you're gonna allow people to download, then you can set up automatic sync
Yeah,
procedures so that SharePoint stays current. You know, I was talking, Lori has used SharePoint a lot in other jobs and she's like, it's good. She said, but you'll have issues where the sync is really slow, or if somebody downloads a document and you set it up because you're using it for an organization, you only want one person working on it at a time. it's on like a library, downloading it kind of checks it out. So no one else can use it while it's checked out, but if they forget to put it back.
Back in, nobody can access it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, but these are all human things, but the first way to address those is to know how your system's set up, and we don't have those parameters yet. So what I would say to you is that Google would probably be easier because it's simpler and it's something that more people have familiarity with. Microsoft would meet more of the town hopes and dreams from an open meeting law, public records, and cybersecurity standpoint. And I hope I can make it easier, but it's not there yet. I can't even tell you how it's set up right now.
But when we originally talked about that, it was because we were trying to set up just set up and clean up and take down for all the rentals.
Mm,
So we could actually create that document
yeah,
and keep it
If-
here.
if you guys can all log in and just have access to this documents folder, and you guys can do whatever, like if you
Yeah.
create a Word document and upload it and you can all access it.
And you can check it, like, you don't
Mhm.
have to search through 47 emails to,
Yeah, yeah,
7,000
yeah,
emails to
yeah.
find the ones that I sent.
yeah.
And then I can also update it as things change.
Mhm.
How do we make a folder? And then I'm looking for, we wanted to make another folder. New,
New,
There you go.
yep.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Oh, it is Word documents, so
Gotcha,
it would
okay.
work with Apple.
Good.
Yeah,
So,
except, yeah, okay.
and
then
this is what I'm hoping will happen. I was hesitant to show it because I don't know if it'll work for guests. That's my hope, but that would be like Google. It opens in your browser.
Yeah.
It doesn't open on your computer. And
Yeah,
so you could create and edit documents on the web and they would automatically be saved
in that
to the
folder.
SharePoint site. And I would have access to them as their town documents if there's a FOIA request, which,
And
How'd
if,
you get there so fast? New,
so if you're in documents, so you, from the site, you're in documents.
oh, go to
And then-
documents, okay,
And then
gotcha.
the new button, there's an arrow,
Yeah,
and the drop down arrow.
okay,
Does
Oh,
it show for you?
yeah.
Cause that
Yeah.
might answer the guest question. If you
it
don't.
does.
new Word document,
Okay,
okay. new
so
folder,
then, yeah,
alright,
so as guests,
okay.
you guys have access to
Well,
that.
maybe I'll try that for stuff coming on and see if that will at least start there,
Sure.
right?
And you
Yep.
sent me an email, Dean, that you got in.
I got it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was in today.
So,
Yeah,
you having any luck over there, Patty?
No, cause I wasn't able to get in, period.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know how I got in at the first time. I don't remember how that happened.
the water board has really struggled with that. This has worked seamlessly for DRB, and that's the only group, and it's because I set them up in 2020 before Word started changing all their permission requirements and their authentication requirements, and the newer the group is, the more trouble they have. So you guys, you're my second newest, you're doing pretty good for 3 out of 4. But,
Oh, okay, and you can upload here too, so
mhm.
Yeah,
if you're,
That's what I
if
did,
you're in a folder, you can just upload a document that you've created.
To that
Yep.
folder.
Yeah,
Right.
So
yeah,
right here, you got the upload,
Mhm.
the
yeah,
drop down.
yeah.
So I think to start, if you just want to start using the documents, while I figure out some of this other stuff,
yeah.
Sure,
yeah.
that'd be a
So-
good starting point just
so-
to get used to.
Tim, check and see if you got that membership recommendation
In,
in your documents. I didn't put it in the folder, so
it's just down, would be down at the
it's down
bottom.
towards the bottom. Yeah.
Um. Trustees notice document, interview guide,
Says.
membership, yes. It's
That
there, yeah. Yep, 2 hours ago.
worked. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, yep, that's there.
but didn't you send us an email that we clicked on to start this process? So
Mhm.
maybe
That's
Patty needs
new.
to get that again.
So the authenticator, I only need on my phone.
Right,
Okay,
yep.
Yep.
okay.
What did you say?
If
The
I,
authenticator app, I only
Oh,
need on my
okay,
phone.
right.
if I come to work on my phone, I can't do
So I
it.
downloaded it onto my phone. I guess I don't quite understand how that's going to.
So if you click on the link to get into SharePoint,
Yeah.
it should say, it should try and identify you somehow. So if you
Email.
put your email in,
Right.
it should know that you're an authorized user, because I've done that in the admin side, which is how you got the email. And then it will try and send you a code, and the code comes through the Authenticator app.
I went in through a password with my Microsoft password.
So you've already got Microsoft three
So
sixty-five.
that's
yeah.
why I got into it.
Oh, okay.
Do you
that
already
makes
have
sense.
Microsoft three sixty-five, Tim?
No, I don't.
No, and it's working for you, okay.
Yeah,
I do find it's easier for people who already have it for whatever
Makes sense.
reason, maybe because it's,
Well, I've been on a call with Teams before.
yeah.
So it should be working, and so when I click on the link that you sent, I get a little box that says sign in, and the minute I try to sign in, the box disappears.
Hmm.
So there's something not right.
so I have an interview guide here. And I don't.
That's from,
Last year.
yeah.
Oh, it just looks good. Looks like I got in. I don't know what I did.
Just
comment.
to think.
That's not unusual.
Still accurate. I could, it looks good. I can't see.
Oh, I see, okay.
Stay signed in. You just keep clicking.
So,
That
you know,
does-
I think too, it looks like too, if, even if the chairs, if people had access, but the chairs used it. Then, you know, that's would be a good place to get documents, print them out for committee meetings.
Yeah, so like if you
Yeah.
create the agenda in this, you
Yeah.
can just text me and say the agenda's ready to go. And I can just get it and put it on the website.
Yeah.
So you're right, we could circumvent email. I just wasn't sure. You guys are like ahead of this. I wasn't gonna like scare you.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Well,
you're getting
the
it.
other thing I was thinking for agenda creation, people could go in and edit the,
Right,
you know, the chair could. What I generally, I usually send it out to people, but you could create the agenda, and then if somebody wants something on it, they could go in and edit it and add it.
and when I did the membership one, when I was gonna send it to you guys, it popped up. Do you want view only or edit access?
Oh, okay.
So it must do that.
If it does it every time, that would be good,
Yeah.
because view only would be
Yeah.
good for a lot of things. You don't want
And-
people.
But editing
changing.
would be good for something like that
I
we're
mean, if-
trying to work on.
And if you
So
really
I-
wanna,
I got into Outlook, but that's as far as I've gotten. Like I'm not in community health committee yet.
okay, we'll figure it out.
So
It's, yeah.
halfway there.
And then
Yeah.
None of us can get an Outlook, so.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, so that would
Okay.
be, so it's especially something we're working on, like,
If I update something, I make a change to the agenda. Does everybody get notified that I've made an update to that document, or do I need?
There's
to
been a change.
Send it, yeah,
Yeah.
does it do that?
I don't know.
Okay.
And you can probably set
I'll
up a
find out.
document to do that. There's
Yeah.
a version history, which, so you can go in and you can see all the changes that have been made and who's made them.
Okay,
But, this is directly syncs with Teams. I wasn't gonna bring that up either, but if you guys are like really catching on to this, you know, if you've got a document there, you could go into the Teams channel. It's already linked with all of your emails. If you
Yeah.
just type in the chat, agenda ready.
Oh, yeah,
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 okay,
yeah, yeah,
that's good.
yeah,
got it.
Um,
yeah.
that,
And that would be in the conversations?
you know, I don't know.
Okay.
You guys are moving faster than I was. So, but honestly, you could just start playing with it.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
gonna be the best way to
That's
figure it
where you
out.
learn.
So.
That's the best way.
Yep,
Let me see if I can-
Yeah, cause it's like, I'm thinking like school, and up on the top, it would say. So you open up the document, and if you join, I can see that Tim's on it,
Yes,
and you could have a conversation.
yes,
Even while you're working on it.
yes.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like that
yeah,
better.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then-
yeah.
So we'll play around with it and see if it does something similar to, and then it does keep track over in the side, it keeps track of the changes.
Yeah,
So I don't know if this does it, but
and some of these things have to be turned on. I was doing some research today as Lisa and I are trying to
Yeah.
figure out how to set this up. Things like, the check-in and check-out feature I was talking about, you know, you have to enable that or not enable it, and I'm not sure how we
Yeah.
want to use that in North Hero.
Now, you're looking at emails now.
I'm trying to find the email I sent out to you guys last month with the link so that you could prepare for this meeting and
Oh, okay,
I think it was
Click on
even
the-
before that. though.
but we
Was it?
don't have access to that, I don't think.
well, I sent out an email with a link and said, let me know if you can access it. So I'm trying to
Oh.
find it, forward it to Patty, because I think she should start.
But I mean,
But
but,
that was the only way I could do it. I had to go back and it was
Let me
like,
see if I can find it.
but all the community hall,
Well, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same
emails.
it's the same link I just sent around, and that's the one Patty's trying to click on.
Roughly when you sent it.
It doesn't matter, Patty. If you look at the screen, I found it, February meeting, and if you look at this link,
yeah, there you go.
it's the same one that I just sent in the email. So if you're clicking on that link in this email I just sent around and not having any luck, then we've got
Okay.
other
Yeah,
issues.
just, I got it through the link you just sent just moments ago.
So you're in?
Like I said, I'm here, but I'm not in community hall, like, I'm just into. I'm in Outlook,
Is it your Outlook though, or the hall's
So
Outlook?
go ahead and get out of
No.
that.
what do you
You
mean?
don't want this. This is not the,
Okay, so
So
what do
you-
you want me to do? Do you want me to like,
so I want you to access your email. So however you normally access your email, and I want you to click on that link,
this is exactly what I did before.
then that's what I got. So,
Hold on, I wanna show you what happened. Trying to sign you in, watch this. Supposed to do like that? Okay. Since I started,
Oh, good, yeah.
after they're done.
Okay.
They're just gonna use the kitchen.
Hmm.
So
What's,
maybe-
just tell me.
It's probably gonna be about $50.
Which
Oh,
is,
that's fine.
They're like 2.5 hours. plus the
Somehow
kitchen,
I ended up
something like that.
Whatever,
Yeah,
just so maybe.
Ouch.
Okay, yeah, but I'll do
And I
it
thought I
after
did
Okay.
they go.
Sure.
No, she wasn't exactly sure. No, it's not really, so the site,
That's fine.
I mean, Outlook is a
Absolutely.
Microsoft 365 software product, but it isn't really connected to this, SharePoint site.
Okay,
So, and is this even working? Like, yeah, so I don't know. Like, because the SharePoint 365. Do you have multiple email addresses?
I only have one that I really use. I have
Okay.
another one that I.
So
created
whenever,
for-
but you get community hall emails.
Through Comcast.
So, and where you get it through doesn't really matter, but, what I'm trying to confirm is that the email that I put into SharePoint is the email you use.
Well, it's Helsingin at Comcast.net.
So,
That's the email I use.
okay. So, yeah, this is another issue we run into where people using different platforms for. Like, I don't know why it's not letting you type in the information. I
I
don't
don't
know,
know either.
so.
But this is the only email I really use. It's extremely rare that I use my Gmail.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, that's why I asked if you
And-
got
and-
all emails, because that's the email you use
Oh,
then.
Well, you sent it to. Well, it's the email that's listed in the community hall committee list,
So Helsinki is at Comcast.net,
right?
so that's the right down here.
So, yeah, that's it.
So it's not that we have the wrong email in there.
Nope.
No. So,
That's good.
yeah, I mean, this is one of those where, yeah. We had one guy on the capital improvement plan meeting, he came in and he spent 2 hours and we never got him in,
Mm.
and I couldn't tell you why, like, so I don't know if there are issues sometimes with the, like, there's so many things that it could be the antivirus on your computer, it could be your computer, it could be, things that the town doesn't have control over. as well, that it's really hard if it's a volunteer to be like.
Another question though, before you don't click out of that.
I
Are
can,
you
I can
guys,
bring it
what-
back.
What,
So-
platform are you, I use Safari. Sometimes that gets me into trouble. Are you in Chrome or?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I'm in Safari now and it's working.
Well, cause
Oh,
you
it
two
is?
have
Yeah.
Apples, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Google or Edge, Microsoft Edge.
I'm just trying it in Chrome, just to see what happens.
It worked for me in Safari.
So what I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but-
do
You're you and my computer.
is I
sometimes
will
it's
remove
stuff.
you. And then add you back in, and you should
Okay.
get a new email. It might not happen right now, though. But this
Yeah.
isn't really the type of thing we should be troubleshooting in a meeting anyway, so.
When you get an audio recording like from here, do you post it to the website and to this and to,
Well.
or is it one place and then they
So,
pop?
That's a great question, because we're in the process right now of decommissioning our physical server. So right now we go to Zoom, we download it to our server, we upload it to YouTube, and there's a link from YouTube to the website.
Oh, really?
Yes, but we're getting rid of the server, so it'll probably be transferred. There's not really a download if you're moving it from a Zoom platform to a SharePoint platform.
Yeah, yeah.
But it'll go into SharePoint. It'll probably be an easier way for boards to access it than the website, actually. So,
Well, that's what I was thinking,
Yeah.
yeah. And these go back, the website only goes back a year, right? For audio?
it's only supposed to, right now, the audio on the website is a little all over the place. Because we did the bulk transfer in July.
Yeah,
and then we
yeah,
went
yeah.
live in October, and we
Yeah.
haven't really closed the gap.
Yeah.
I haven't really had anybody ask, so I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna put a lot of resources into that. But, and so we were required to keep audio up there for a year. And we only want to, because it's data intensive, but I haven't been there for a whole year, so I haven't figured out, I'm hoping there will be just like an automatic archive or purge.
Yeah,
We'll have to
yeah,
put a
yeah.
Calendar reminder in there and delete it, but yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Okay.
Okay, so it
I
says you
just
were,
got an email.
okay,
that You added me to the community health committee group.
so go ahead and try again. This is the last, this is the last trick in my arsenal. So,
So click on go to SharePoint.
Yeah, I would think so.
I've never been on the other end of this, so I don't.
Doing something.
Yeah,
That
that's
type
to get,
though.
I know, but
that's good.
right.
You got this before.
There's a different.
No, just go to next.
Good. No, I have the app on my
Okay,
phone.
so go to next.
So go to the next
Yeah.
one or?
Yep. Now scan.
Oh,
the
yeah.
code.
This is new.
Yeah.
This is. Oh, wait, there it is, right?
It looks like it wouldn't be too hard to figure out.
No, again, we
There should be a.
play around with it
Yeah,
at first.
was,
You can't
See,
hurt
QR
anything.
code.
You really can't hurt.
and I just tried to get into a folder and it said this is read only. I was wondering what that, which is important.
Yes,
Yeah,
very,
yeah,
really.
Yeah.
So. do
No,
the
it took me a
different
little while to
sensitivity.
get used to Google Docs, but once I get used to it, it's really,
So it's the second one.
this will be very helpful, I
Not
think.
just the-
I really
Yep,
do.
that's the
This
last
one?
one, yeah.
Google was really smart with that. They gave it to schools. Got people kids used to using it, and then when they got out of the school where they went to work would have to
That was
pay
brilliant.
for it.
That was brilliant. It really was. Very smart marketing.
Oh.
It's so slow, but it goes pretty.
Oh, I see. Visible.
Yeah. I'll come on. It's halfway through.
Well,
What else do we have on the
Yeah.
agenda?
well, that's all I need for now.
Okay.
To, and if we start using it, I think we can gradually get our feet wet with
Okay.
that, with that.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, here we go.
My account. See what it says.
Grab it.
No, sure. Yeah, go now, so click on that. So next, and then.
So did you have to download the authenticator app? So you
Okay.
got in and it did.
Ah,
Just
I
put
have
my,
it right here.
I put my Microsoft,
Oh.
Apparently you're gonna have to now.
that's okay,
Yeah.
I don't mind,
Yeah.
Right.
it's fine.
Well, I just did the,
Great job.
You guys are impressive. You'll be the first board to like 100% get on. Some of them, they don't even, like the water board, two guys were like, I'm not even trying.
Sure.
Now,
That's easy.
now bookmark it.
Yeah.
That's what I did, it's like, where is that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your email, I sent my letter of interest for the open position here, I sent it to Tim, should I send it to you too?
Well, is that on your agenda? Are you gonna put together a recommendation to the select board for appointments?
That is our next agenda item,
Okay.
Yeah.
and, we were going to.
Okay.
Talk about that. My hope was that, should we move on to that?
Do we? You all good? Any other
Oh,
questions?
we have, yeah.
Bookmark it.
Awesome. Awesome.
Cause I had some, actually had some, questions. Ooh, my apps. We don't have any apps, okay.
Oh, I wondered, so I looked for who that was. So I'll look at that, that's what's available for us is. Vermont Community Foundation, it's not on the agenda, but just so you can see what's available. Money wise.
Oh, okay, okay. Do you wanna talk about community membership now, and then we'll go back to solar panels, or do you wanna do,
It's up to you.
why don't we do solar panels, since that's next
Okay,
on the thing,
so
and we're not expecting anything, we just,
Yeah,
what I
no,
wanted to know,
I've been working on it.
uh,
But,
that-
so my experience thus far with writing proposals was always to, private companies. And that was a lot easier, and now I'm looking to more sort of federal/state monies, because that's kind of more where you look for this type of a project. And what I get told by every single person I talk to is, oh, well, but that just closed at the end of the year. That's fine. I said,
yeah,
that's fine. I'm not expecting this today. If I'm applying for us for 2026, that's fine. So, because that's kind of where we're at. If I had known about this 6 months ago.
Oh, or a
it would
year
have
ago,
been
yeah,
paid
yeah.
for by now,
No.
but I didn't, so it didn't. So one thing I did talk to Jennifer Morway in Grand Isle. She was wildly successful in getting grant money for various things, especially the library in Grand Isle. And she said, first thing, well, she told me all that stuff, but then she said, make sure you talk to Andy Julo,
Oh,
because there's a list of priorities that you want to get on. So he sent me this form, which is, I'm gonna fill out and get back to him.
oh, great, okay.
Yeah. And to my dismay, I found out that this building, right, doesn't qualify as a.
Well, it's not, it
historic-
may qualify, it's just not
Well,
listed.
it's not on,
It's
it's
not
on, it's not
listed.
listed as a historical building, so for protections and things like that, preservations.
Oh.
Plus, what we want to have done is not something that some of the things like, so if we wanted to have insulation fixed or walls reconstructed or something like that, those types of things might more likely be covered than having a solar installation put on the roof. It's just kind of how they parse things out, like who gets money and who doesn't, what type of project gets money and what type of project doesn't.
Right, right.
So anyway, but I've checked around a lot of places. Everybody's telling me, get back to me this summer because, applications,
Oh, do they follow
applications-
fiscal year or is it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay,
So, August is
Okay.
when I've been told
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of it
yeah,
will happen. So I'm talking, the Vermont Division for Historic Preservation, the MERP project review form, so what Jennifer Morway told me is that your best bet with getting some of these grants is if you can check yes to every single thing they're asking you about your
Oh, okay.
structure. And the one thing we can't say is it's not on a list of historic buildings, so.
what, did the Historical Society, do you know, look at?
Well, yes, but they don't consider it because it was only built in 1930s, so
That's,
that's one of the
Right,
parameters.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then the
yeah.
other thing though is that,
How old does that have to be? It's almost 100 years.
yeah, well, now, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe in a few years, we
but when you put it on the register,
but then
you-
there are restrictions.
then there's all kinds of restrictions,
Yeah.
so,
What the county cannot do with the
Yeah.
building.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, oh, if you wanna
They
remodel.
probably might
or you
not
want- Yeah,
let you put
we
solar
might wanna
panels
be.
on it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you know, like, just if we decided somewhere down the road that maybe we didn't wanna have wood siding on it, we wanted to replicate
Put
the
vinyl,
siding and
yeah.
something else. That would never happen.
Yeah, yeah.
So, there's,
Well,
but the fact that it's owned by the town and it gets so much use, that's gonna
Mhm.
help.
Well, the Arts Council, the Vermont Arts Council, that is a more hopeful avenue. Because we
what-
use it for community events, art events, you know, educational events.
Is that what Katya did?
Yeah.
Okay,
She gets a lot, and that's gonna be the other thing is how many organizations
in the town.
got the money,
In
and then
my
also,
side of town,
you know,
yeah.
we've had a culture facilities grant, we've had a
Yeah, yeah,
arts council grant, we've had a preservation trust grant, so.
yeah, yeah,
You know, I don't know what, I mean, it seems like yesterday, but it really isn't,
yeah.
you know, what the time
But if
frames
we've
are
had those, it makes it harder to get. in-
versus a
yeah,
town
yeah.
Like
that.
you've already had,
Yeah,
you've already had your fair share.
yeah,
Yeah.
and this building in this town is falling down, so we wanna, you
Yeah.
know, they,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they try to do it with
Yes, but
some,
we'll see.
yeah, just keep working at it. Something will come, efficiency, you know.
Do you think sometime in the next few months, we should have a discussion about if we want to become historical?
I don't think so,
Okay, okay,
that would be my, I
okay.
mean, we can research it.
No, that's,
But I think given the way we have a preservation agreement,
yeah, yeah,
and, you know, and we want the downstairs to be able to, you know,
do whatever.
do that.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Who knows where we're going, but I
Yeah.
think that would be a lot of parameters. And there's
Okay.
probably nobody that would really think it really wasn't a historical building. You know,
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
given the. It's-
Okay, so what we'll do is, we'll keep the solar panels on the agenda, just to remind us of what's
I will
happening.
back burner it for.
And yeah,
some months.
okay, great. Which brings us to committee membership. We have 2 applications, I'm glad to say, and we haven't had any more. What I thought would happen is, Tracy and Eileen and myself, if I'm off the reservation on this, let me know. Would call a special meeting to review, the one agenda item would be to review committee applications, membership applications, and we would do a Zoom meeting. And, maybe you and I'd get together or something,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we would do that and then review the applications, at this point. At this point, it looks like it's gonna be an easy process, but there was just yesterday, right?
Yeah.
A call for interest, for people to apply.
Well, so,
It's been in the Islander.
yes, and I just kind of realized that I was supposed to put it in the Islander and the Facebook Front Porch Forum at the same time. And I don't know what happened, but I realized that I'd only done the Islander, so,
But it was yesterday it was in Front Porch Forum, right?
right,
Yeah.
because I forgot to put it,
Oh.
they're supposed to come out together.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
Was there a
But-
date on there for,
Yes, so March 13th, if you're applying.
and it's
to
for the
this
March
one.
17th board meeting?
Yes.
Okay, so March 13th.
So I think what you're suggesting.
the deadline is March 13th.
Yes, for
Okay.
you
We
to
have to
submit a
wait,
letter to,
we have to wait.
so
Okay,
to have your meeting?
Yeah,
Or-
because what if 5 people?
Oh, well. This is,
I'm not gonna be here on March 17th.
Hmm?
no,
I don't
that's,
know if
that's
that
fine.
matters.
No, that's the
Let
select
me,
board.
let me backpedal. This is why next year we're just gonna put a blurb in the paper that says it's time for appointments, contact the town office for more information.
Mhm.
Because this, by the policy, the select board wants nominations from their committee. And so that's why the policy now reads that each committee will advertise on their own for little things like that. So you can
Except ours,
create-
which we're gonna read tonight.
So, but, so you could set your own deadline. The water board did that. They did their own advertising notices. They set their own deadline so that they knew they could meet. The
Yeah, but
select
they've
board's
done that,
deadline.
right?
Yeah,
So,
so it doesn't help you now. It's just
Yeah.
trying to help explain the process.
well, we could set a meeting now.
Well, let me
Okay,
give you a wrinkle. So because you guys aren't technically making the appointment, the select.
yes,
board is.
yes,
You're just forwarding names for nomination.
to the select board.
There isn't really a stringent requirement for you to have a separate meeting that doesn't include,
Oh,
so like water board, they all just at their regular meeting. And the people who are appointees, they vote on it. You know, they're not actually getting appointed. Their names are just moving forward. And of course, they put in the letter of interest. They want their name to move forward. So they vote on it. I will caveat that they've been, perception is 9/10 of the law. And a couple times there have been people that have been irked at that process, why, and so like Parks and Rec have created their own process where they make sure there's a very big separation. From, but, and anyway, are you guys following me?
yes.
yes, but now I'm thinking, are you suggesting we don't do this?
No, I'm just saying, I wasn't, you guys, I was anticipating a rabbit hole where maybe you were saying, but we can't all meet, maybe on,
Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
true.
and so.
Well, we have a problem,
Or,
but.
yeah, so if you have a problem, I'm trying to give. an
But he's
alternative,
basing it on
but-
this document,
Gotcha.
so,
I
and
don't
we were
have all
trying
the
to
inputs.
make
Okay.
it, but we don't have to have this document, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's where every board is a little different and our select boards tried hard to give boards the freedom to do what works best for them. Which is nice, but also creates confusion.
Yeah.
So, I think what Parks and Rec does is really nice, especially like, for whatever reason, their appointment cycle is really contentious this go around. And who would have saw that coming for Parks and Rec? So it's really great that they already have this in place. There's something in writing that the whole board's already agreed to and voted in. And it is a really clear separation of people who put their names forward versus the committee members. It's gonna help them this year. But I was anticipating that you have an issue and like, well, technically, you don't have to do any of it. It's,
So if, is this too simple? If we have no more applications,
Mhm.
as chair, I could forward the two we have to the select board for the 17th meeting?
So if you guys, somebody makes that motion and it all passes tonight, then you would be enabled to send that email. I would include maybe a date, like if we don't receive any other letters of interest by the
Well,
12th.
that to be the 13th, right?
Well,
Because
if
put
you
it-
get more letters of interest, you should probably have a special meeting.
Yes,
Yeah.
right,
So- You
exactly.
gotta think a little bit about.
But what I was thinking, if there are no more additional, applications,
Yeah,
Then let's do that.
and what we
Let's-
advertise is, if you're interested in these positions, contact the board.
yes,
chair.
yes.
So that if you could say, no, we're only collecting applications till the 10th, even though you didn't advertise it, it's
Oh,
kind of. The committee's decided only, so
But
tonight,
you advertise it. We don't want to, I don't think we'd really want to change your date just to
Well,
keep it simple.
Yeah,
Nice
yeah,
and
yeah,
up-
yeah.
up,
well, I
on
mean, if you,
board or what-
and this is, people hate technicalities, that's why they hate government, but if you read the notice, it says if you're interested in any of these positions, contact the select board clerk by the 13th, and it's just the positions the select board appoints. And then the second part, if you're interested in these positions, contact the board chair. It doesn't give any parameters
Okay,
and you guys are in that category.
okay. So that's why there were
So,
two. I couldn't
yeah.
figure that out. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I know, and you're like in this.
Yeah.
Like, this is why it has to go.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so I'll make a
Yeah.
motion that if we don't receive
Any more actual applications,
applications, that you put forward,
the ones we have,
the two letters that we have to the select board for the March 17th meeting.
and if we have no more applications by the 13th, and I agree with you, I'd like to leave that date
Yeah,
the same, just so people can say you
Yeah.
changed the date on
we
the.
can scramble to pull a meeting together, even if it's on
Yes.
Zoom.
Yes, yes.
Yes, by March 13th.
Is
I'll
there a
second.
second? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Okay,
And then we'll table this, this.
yes,
For
yes,
now.
yes, yes.
All that work.
Okay.
Just,
So I will get, you get the agenda together. You'll be getting that together the 13th and the 14th.
yes,
Okay, so I will get the letters to you no later than the 14th to include in the packet.
so believe the notice says the 13th, because the packet goes out the 14th.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So-
okay.
But you
So
already
I
know
will,
two,
okay,
so Get those two to.
I will get
so-
those to you on Thursday, the
Yeah,
13th.
by end of day Thursday.
Yep,
Yeah,
okay,
I hesitate to say the 14th, because if it comes in afternoon, the agenda will already be
yeah,
out there.
yeah, okay,
So,
okay. So, we don't have to have, we will, may not have the executive session and letters by the 13th to Corinne for, agenda. And then we will, our community hall meeting is, the select board meeting would be the, 17th.
And we're the 18th.
We have a meeting the 18th, which we'll have our reorganizational meeting on the 18th. Okay,
And I will be,
want somewhere fun,
sorry,
somewhere fun?
hopefully.
Yeah.
you won't be here the 18th?
I don't
will
think I'm
not.
gonna be here.
If you wanna push it off a week,
Well, that's,
The next week I'll be here. but I won't-
you won't be here either.
Not the 18th, I don't
Really?
think.
Oh, actually, I won't be here the 25th either. It would have to be the following week. That goes into April. You don't want to do that. The 11th, the week prior, I'm here.
That's pretty close to
That's
town,
the
so,
2 weeks, and
yeah.
that's before the 13th when you wanna.
Are
well,
you gone that whole week?
I am gone from March 16th to March 26th.
We could do it on 27.
Yep,
I can do the 27th.
is there anything on the?
No,
on
I got it
the,
right. Just
Yeah.
yoga.
I can do the 27th.
I was about to look that up, that's very
Well-
efficient.
So
Get carried around my back pocket.
so we'll move our next meeting to the
Now you got me
27th,
worried. I'm gonna go look.
okay,
and that will
Sometime
be the
before-
reorganization on the 27th.
okay,
Okay,
you got it.
although It's better if you're not here, then we can just assign people, you know.
We'll be the chair.
What we,
and the
exactly
treasurer,
what we
and you'll do
want,
the
yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
You don't want me as the treasurer.
Okay. And that takes care of that, and
The
the
only
next,
thing, just, I didn't put it on the agenda, but here's the. What's available from the foundation. Community Foundation for this, which is probably already spoken for.
so the 2025 account, will have available to us 35,325.
Yeah.
Beginning,
Well, they're changing up the website, so I talked to Lisa and we'll get through town meeting and do all that stuff and wait till they change it up and then do it sometime in April, probably.
we'll do the transfer,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll meet with her, or we'll meet with her. to
Yeah.
Go through the list of things that didn't, so we can get rid of that deficit.
yeah, well, exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, I get asked about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then I'm not, the other thing I just thought about, now that you say that, I'm not that we wanna take that money, and I don't know what it probably require the select board, but I think we might be able to do solar panels. Cause we can spend 275,000. For other things, like an emergency, I don't know if it would be solar panels, but let me check into that,
but the balance of the fund is 746.
yeah, yeah,
And I don't know if I'd wanna take out
no.
from that, right?
Well, yeah, cause it's making money, but.
Yeah, yeah,
maybe, you know, then it's done and then we're saving money eventually.
Yeah.
but-
yeah,
So I'll look into that,
okay,
now that I just thought of that.
You can take out from the, Principal?
Right, you can take out from the original. The original amount that where it was set up, like if an emergency came, you could, it's almost like applying for a grant from it.
yeah,
Um,
oh, interesting.
I mean,
if
I
we
was
wanted,
thought
if we
about it,
wanted to reduce the fund,
yes. you'd
which
reduce the
means-
fund, Yeah,
subsequent years, there'd be less of a distribution.
right.
Because it's the principal, the principal is less, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but if it was gonna. I mean. Solar panels for the. You know, it might be worth it. You know,
Well, my thing is I look at that electric bill every month and it's $600.
Well, that's where the spring.
Mine is
That's
$600.
what all I do.
Yeah.
Because you said one
I
month
think it's
says
pretty good. I think it's pretty good.
And I was
Tracy,
thinking if the town could save that money,
Higher up on the website.
Mhm. You do?
I did. I was thinking of you.
Are you
Thanks.
gonna add this stuff? Did you, you'll
I
add
will,
it?
yeah. If you go to the homepage, like if you click on the North Hero.
Yeah.
Right, one of those green buttons,
Oh, did you just add that?
a little while.
Oh,
ago.
yes.
You told me, like scrolling to the bottom was a pain.
Yes.
I like feedback.
Perfect. Thank you.
okay, I think that we've taken care of business, a motion to adjourn,
I make a motion that we adjourn.
second,
Seconded.
all those in favor?
Aye,
Aye, okay,
thanks, Corinne.
Thank you guys.
yeah, thanks, Corinne.
That was a very scattered presentation. You were ahead of me the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've seen the possibilities and at our reorganization, we will
Reorganize.
reorganize.
So, but like, just like with the website, if you start playing around with it and little things are tweaky or weird, let me
Yes.
know. I can't always do anything. Like I've tried for 3 years to make the sign-in process better, and
Are we
what
off?
you saw today is
Got us off?
kind of what I know how to do.
I was curious though, so this isn't to do with the hall, but like I was getting